Today I want to talk about the concept of saving for retirement versus spending your money, I don't want to say recklessly, but let's call it less carefully. See, here's the thing. I classify myself as a person who saves money, except when it comes to camera gear, and I've been thinking a lot about this lately, and that's why I decided to make a video on it. I basically just want to say that nowadays, saving and investing has become mainstream compared to before. If there's one thing that the pandemic showed us, it's that most people's jobs are on the line when there's an economic downturn. The pandemic showed us that when it comes down to it, our employers will look out for themselves and their bottom line before any of the people that work there. Whether or not we agree or disagree with these terms is one thing, but what are we gonna do? These past 2 years have seen the rise of self-directed or self-serve investing. Platforms like Wealthsimple have blown up, and now you can buy and sell stocks right from your phone. It's actually unbelievable how easy it is. I always thought that it was this super difficult and time-consuming thing, but it's easy as setting up an account, adding money, and buying the stocks you want to buy. Doing the research and putting the time into research companies and other things is a whole nother issue, and that's time consuming. So, don't think it's some easy task and you retire with $1 million, because it's not that easy. But speaking of retirement, I know that, just like I said before, the pandemic has shown everyone that a lot of things are temporary and fragile. Our jobs are fragile, our savings are fragile, and most people are one emergency away from draining their savings and being back at square one. It's no secret that people have started taking their finances way more seriously over the past 2 years, and let me be clear, I have no issue with that. I think it's a very grown-up and adult thing to do, and I think it shows that you're okay with taking on responsibility, and financial responsibility isn't anything to scoff at. It's serious business. I know that finances are nothing to take lightly, but I think that sometimes we get so caught up in saving money for our retirement or saving for a rainy day that we lose track of the opportunities in our day-to-day lives. I said in this Forming Your Own Opinion video that just because I save money doesn't mean you have to, and just because you don't like to save or just because you spend more than I do doesn't make any of us more right. It just means that we have differing opinions, and there's no issue with that. I just think that sometimes we get so caught up in maxing out our tax-free savings accounts and RRSPs that we forget about other things. Let me give you an example. My girl and I went on one vacation, and that was to Disney back in 2017, and I never went on a vacation with my mom ever. We just never had the money, but that's not what this video was about. My girl went on other family vacations and was gracious enough to extend an invite to me, but I declined all of them with the exception of that Disney one because I told her that I didn't have the money for it. But I did have the money for it. It's just that I didn't want to spend the money to go somewhere for a week or two and then come back and look at my bank account and see minus $1,200 or something like that. I was looking at the numbers too much. I'm not saying that I regret not going, but would it have hurt to go one more time or, even two? You get what I'm saying? Even on a little weekend road trip, would it have hurt me that much? I'm not in the business of dwelling on things like that because I used to do that way too much, but I guess I just want you to learn from my mistake. Let me be clear, this isn't giving you permission to cash out all your accounts and go and buy a new car and spend it on things that won't get you anywhere in life, but I just think that there's a balance between enjoying your life and saving some money for when you get older. But speaking of getting older, yes, I said that we should be putting some money away for when we get older and hopefully retire. But remember that retirement isn't promised to everyone. Just because we live in a first world country and our average life expectancy was 82 years old in 2019 doesn't mean we're all making it there. That's the average. Does that mean you'll make it there? I don't know. Does that mean you won't make it there? I don't know that either. My mom died when she was only 57, so she didn't make it anywhere close to that. And there are a ton more people that don't. I know people that passed away when they were in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s. But I also know people that are 70 and 80 and 90 and they're still alive and doing their thing. I also hear people say that, they're gonna save money now so that they can travel when they retire. And there isn't an issue with that, but just remember that when you retire, even if you retire at an early age, say 55, you're probably no spring chicken anymore. Your body probably isn't in the same shape as when you were in your 20s and 30s. You know that one picture that always floats around of those two old people sleeping on the boat and the caption's like, I'm gonna travel and enjoy it when I'm older? It's kind of like that. When you get older, you get more irritable. Maybe you have some health issues that hinder you from walking, so you can't go hiking. Maybe you have a bladder issue, so you need frequent access to a washroom. We just don't know what the future holds for any of us. All I'm saying is that it's okay to live a little. Life isn't just about TFSAs and RRSPs and driving the cheapest car that you can and buying the cheapest food that you can buy just to survive. It's okay to spend a bit more to get better things. It's okay to buy an iPad or a Dyson or some shoes to go out and play basketball in. I would even argue that if you bought those things, you would enjoy your life even more, because then you would be less stressed. If you're constantly worrying about money and maxing out all these accounts, you'll never be able to enjoy life. And what's the point of worrying all the time? When you're sitting there worrying, life is just passing you by. Then all of a sudden you're 40 and you're 50 and all you've done is worry about money. Then all of a sudden you're one bad diagnosis away from your life shattering in front of your eyes, and then what? You spent all that time saving and saving for all of it to just sit there? Remember that time is your only non-renewable resource. You can make $1 million and lose it and make it all again. But when you spend 5 years worrying about something and then you realize that you were worrying for nothing, those are 5 years that are never coming back to you no matter what you do. Remember that there's no use being the wealthiest person in the cemetery. And as always, thanks for watching.